this is officially the beginning shot from episode 5, the final episode.
Mm-hmm.
So you're almost done. You've got one more to go.
Mm-hmm.
You should be very happy with that.
Yeah.
Very happy with that. How's it going, man?
It's going okay. I'm super tired. No real energy
Yeah.
for like at least the last 3 days.
Mhm.
But it is what it is. So today is day 2 of my 2 days off. Day 1 was like I was sick all day. My digestive
That kind
tracts
of sickness.
kind of exploded, yeah.
Yeah. So you're just suffering from exhaustion
I feel
recently.
like...
Yeah, because this time and the last Wednesday when we were out on the streets, you do seem like you're a little bit more defeated than usual.
I feel like I could sleep for a very long time at this point, but there hasn't really been an opportunity to do that.
One thing I'll say is that you're almost done.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll have that off your mind. You never know, you might be kind of like missing the prospect of busking to a certain extent once it's over.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's not out of the prospect. Busking to a deadline is different.
Yeah. My prediction is once you've had a little bit of distance from the project, you'll, like I said about the holiday thing, with the Carl Pilkington and the holiday thing, do you remember? You'll start enjoying it you'll start enjoying that holiday a lot more once you're home again. So nothing from the visa stuff yet?
Nope. Nothing yet. I'm trying to rediscover the intro to Homeward Bound. I'll say a little bit about him, yeah.
Yeah, go on. Why is he on your guitar?
So, yeah, Joe was my friend. And someone... someone who was just very important in my life, and who died too young, way too young. And yeah, in a similar way to Johnny, putting him on my guitar is a way for me to remember him, and also for me to share his memory with others. I think that's I think it's important not to forget.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's his birthday soon as well.
Mm-hmm. What date is that?
October 29th.
So like 2 days from now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, I figured he should have at least an equal spot as Johnny.
Absolutely. I hope that if I die, I get a little spot on there as well.
Yeah. I hope you don't die.
Yeah, thank you. That's a really nice thing to say to someone. I'm not. It will be a unexpected thing if it happens for me. I'm not on knocking on the door just yet.
Yeah, I would hope not. It's painful to remember someone, or to remember that they're gone. But it is also like totally the right thing to do. It's how you value their life.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe was also a big, aside from being a friend, like he was a huge like cheerleader, I suppose, for my music. relentlessly encouraging voice. And those things are important too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I play a lot of songs. Like when I sing songs, I'm often thinking of people, and I sing many songs for Joe.
Mm-hmm.
And many songs for Johnny. So it's like, or at least that are reminiscent, of those people. So they're important to my whole like philosophy of the world.
Well, they're part of you.
Yeah.
Like part of you, who you are.
They're part of my history, and I'm part of theirs.
Mm-hmm.
to whatever degree.
Yeah, well, you're putting it like that. It does make it very clear how the people in our lives really do make up who we are. We're all just like, whether it's on the surface or not, we are kind of like little bits of each other.
Life is sometimes full of unexpected tragedy.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'm gonna just get a little bit closer. Yeah. So, how do you feel about last performance? Or like having a little bit of distance from it?
I'm relieved at the way it went. I did feel coming away from it like quite encouraged. It does indicate something for the future, which is there's potential here, and when I'm sort of controlling for all things, or just better rehearsed,
Mm-hmm.
then it will go even better than that. And there's the fact that there were some donations, like that's like a cherry on top kind of thing.
Going off the back of that, like leading into like the fifth and final performance, this is my idea. I wanted there to be like a significance to the last one. In a nutshell, is for this fifth performance, you get to choose where it is. Like for this final one, I want it to be more on your terms, so you feel more comfortable and less pressured and less rushed.
Mm-hmm.
So you go into it feeling more positive. I would prefer, because this project has also been a kind of like showcase of Toronto as well. Not like directly, but I like that we went to Dundas Square and Christie Pitts and Kensington and Church Street, and we're going to important places in Toronto. I would prefer the last one to be somewhere in Toronto of your choice.
Okay.
Just to be in tune with that. That being said, if you
I have a place in mind.
In Toronto?
Yeah.
That you're happy with?
Yeah. I can't remember the name of the street. I think it's called Cumberland Street or Cumberland Place.
Mm-hmm.
It's near Bay Station. There's like a fountain thing. I've seen buskers around now. I've seen one. There's not always a busker there.
Yeah. But that's where you want to be, yeah?
That seems, yeah, I mean... But that spot is a good spot. It's reasonably pedestrianised. It's a place where people can come and go. You're not kind of imposing yourself too much on people. They can choose to listen, they can choose not to.
How does 2 weeks from now sound to you?
Yeah.
Does that sound okay to you?
Mm.
So the next 2 weeks is going to be like very much centered around this. What I'm suggesting is that you're focused, but you're not pressuring yourself. Go into this knowing that you're going to make mistakes, it's not going to be perfect, no matter what. Every night work on one song, get it into the repertoire, and then this coming week, couple days off, solidify it, practice more properly as you've got more time in the day to work stuff out. I don't know if...
I'll take it. Yep. Yeah, I'm more comfortable with that, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I need some structure. I know that, like, I want to feel like nothing is especially rushed. like in terms of my prep, and I know that's like mostly on me.
And that's what
Like,
what this is all about.
Yeah. It's because I expected it, at least when we started this project, I would have more time.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect to be working at the hostel again. I didn't expect to be working the schedule that I'm working, and all those things factor in. So yeah, I'm happy with this level of control to wrap up this project. I will build on it and change it such that it fits with my intentions for busking and also whatever other commitments I have in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll probably be slower paced.
I definitely agree with that. I would say though, you need to acknowledge that you have poor discipline. That's what I'm trying to say.
Mm.
And that means that you need to be like, I'm going out once a month, no matter what. Like, I'm even if I fuck up that whole time. This is how it happens with everyone. And you've even said this, like, on film. You're at a point where you haven't done this, like, for the past 10 years, is because you've let it get past you. You've let it sort of slip through your fingers. And that is innocent. It's not your fault. It's like beyond fucking common for people to do that. But yeah, it's just like at this stage in your life, acknowledge that fact so you don't let it slip away from you again.
Yeah, you're right. I do acknowledge that, yeah. And I want this to become something. Like, that is a sincere desire that I have.
I believe, like, not only do I believe that you can do it, but I truly believe that you will. Like, I think that some way or another you'll get out there because, like, man, you're like born for this. This is like your like a calling, if you believe in that kind of stuff. Like, who you are is like cookie cutter for what you want to do. That's how I think that it comes down, like how you know when it comes down to sort of like destiny, whether you believe in that or like kind of believe in it, whatever. It's like when that starts to feel believable, it's because of stuff like this. You're built for this. Like, you care about it, you think about it in your spare time. Like, your skills and your interests suit this activity. So like, yeah, I think that you will do it.
Thank you. That's really encouraging. Yeah, and I agree. Like, I know all that stuff. I think a lot of this process has just been like lifting a lid on something that I kind of put a lid on, maybe even without knowing.
Yeah, without knowing. It's an innocent thing. It happens to everyone. Okay, so like between now and the 2 weeks, like I'm gonna give you as much time to focus on as possible. But this is an exercise in discipline. Please take it seriously to do one song a night. Like, it's really important. Final Chuck set, 10th of November, baby.
Okay.
That's it.
Save the day.
That's the face of anticipation right there.
The face of nervous anticipation.
Yes, indeed. So you can look wherever you like. It's that kind of project. So, it is the day or the evening, afternoon before the final performance. How's it going today?
Not as well as I'd hoped.
In what way?
Well, I haven't really started practicing. The plan was I would spend most of the day, like the good chunk of the day, just actually invested in, just I guess the, what do you call it, like the logistics of performance prep.
So how much practice have you managed to get in over the last couple of weeks? Relative to the initial sort of like plan that I put out there of trying to get like a song in an evening.
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Not well.
Not well.
Yeah.
Go on.
You won't be surprised to hear.
No.
I suppose there's been more like what's the word I'm looking for? Like intellectual prep, like thinking about song selection. I suppose thinking about the songs, which counts for something. It's part of it. I feel like there's still time to put something together that's good enough.
For sure.
For tomorrow.
Yeah.
For some reason, I feel slightly more mentally prepared.
Does that translate into any sort of like confidence or anything going into tomorrow?
More, I would say, like at present, it translates into a lower level of abject terror about tomorrow. So yeah, maybe you could call it like quiet reassurance. It's almost guaranteed that tomorrow, immediately pre-performance, I will be shitting myself again.
But this is important that you're going into it anticipating that. So what's going to happen is that you're eventually going to learn how to deal with the nervousness.
To quote Ladysmith Black Mambazo, the task before us is not greater than the power behind us. So I like that one.
How's it been like putting yourself out there, like not just when you're going out to perform in the street, but out elsewhere, like telling people you're doing this, telling people you're pursuing it, you know, approaching it outside of the actual performances? What's it like for you putting yourself into this position and
I don't do a lot of it. Is the answer. Probably not the best way to deal with it, and maybe that's another thing. Like,
do the guys at the hostel know that you're doing this?
No, I won't volunteer the information. I'll just say something like, I have a commitment on this day.
Out of curiosity, why do you choose to do that?
I think, I don't know for sure, but if I tried to kind of psychoanalyze myself, I think it's because it's quite an important thing. It's a very personal thing. Sentimentality, I suppose, attached to it. Like, it is, and when I tried to intellectualize this to myself, it's like, it's the most vulnerable I can make myself, and probably that's why it feels uncomfortable. My general day-to-day demeanor is a construct of sorts. It's like I'm in a work mode, or I'm just keeping my guards up, you know. It's like, it's a really safe space to be behind your own wall.
Do you feel that works for you?
In those contexts, yeah, it's perfect.
What about internally, like deep down?
I wonder about this. It's like a kind of forgetting yourself. This is just a theory at this point. I haven't fully worked out what the hell is going on in my own brain, but there's certain things, like certain moments or events or memories, or will bring out something that's, to use a cliched example, like the inner child kind of thing. There's someone vulnerable that always wanted to perform for whatever reason, completely unknown, and who's connected with this music for, again, it's a reason that your day-to-day Chuck can't really, he's either completely forgotten about it, or he's so far distanced from it that he just doesn't recognize it. I think music speaks to the inner voice and the inner kind of, the most vulnerable place of a person, at least for myself. And that's why I think it's so difficult for me to sing in front of people, or it takes a lot of trust for me to feel comfortable to do that. This is what is required in order to do this well. It's like all your walls have to come down, and you have to connect with this thing. That's the best way I can try to articulate it. Yeah, I was discouraged away from this path quite early on. And yeah, that is one regret. I regret letting other people's perceptions get in the way of my vision, at least at that time.
Mm-hmm. The money that you saved from the other busks.
Yeah.
Let's see.
This is it.
That's the money.
And it's humble. Yeah.
And this is another thing that I wanted to ask. I just wanted to point out your dedication to your, like, how much you care about music by this little sort of like symbolism thing. Mm-hmm. Show the audience your nails on your plucking hand.
That's not dedication. That's
but you this is the thing that I think highlights it, right? Right. So you like, if you weren't doing this project, you would barely be playing music, really. But you have had nails like that for how long? Consistently?
So I was maybe 16.
So that's like the way that I look at it is that's a way of showing how, like, that's who you are, a part of you at your core. That even though it, like, doesn't make sense to keep the nails for what you're doing, but it's like that's a part of you which is, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I never even think about it. Like, but no, like, it's something that people do notice. You're catching all the autumnal colours.
Yeah, we are, man. Beautiful Canadian autumn.
It is.
Or fall, as they call it.
Fall, yeah. It is autumn to the max in this.
Yeah.
In this country.
If you were living your dream life right now, what would it be?
That's a big question. This experience has been very revealing. I'd almost, like, forgotten what my dreams were or why they were there, I think. Or I could point to a series of individual events that I think led to that. I think, at least in the last 2 years, like, losing Joe would be the most significant, like, stifler of my sense of, like, I suppose, purpose or even creativity. And necessarily that takes time.
Well, he was like your best friend, and yeah, that's hard.
Like, I lost Johnny. He was my hero, my busking hero, no less. And then, like, 2 years later, not even 2 years, Joe was gone as well. The shock to one's, like, outlook that has is indescribable and profound. Like, the convenience of money is something that I think we all kind of need in the current structure. So that, but those are like, they're details. Like, they're important because of the structure we live in. But what things are important to me as a human being, like, and why? It's an existential question, right? I think I would like recognition. I think I certainly would like opportunity to work with music constantly. I often ask myself, sort of, like, if money were no obstacle, where would I be? What would I be doing? I probably wouldn't be working at the hostel, like, if I'm honest. Just because there's better things for someone like me to be doing as my kind of contribution to the world, or whatever that is.
So you haven't heard anything back from the visa stuff yet?
No. Which is good. It could happen any day. For some reason, I've got, like, a bad feeling about it. You know, I couldn't really logically tell you why that is. Maybe it means nothing. Like, whatever happens with that will determine, like, my next move. I suppose I can see an upside to not having to do the hostel job anymore. I'd be lying if I said that was not true. But on the other hand, like, Canadian residency and ultimately citizenship, that's been a goal for a long time. And I'd certainly feel quite happy if that was all just
dealt with,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't have to worry about like overstaying my welcome here. So yeah, it'd be a nice thing to cross off the list, and a big problem if it's if I have to like pack up and move again.
Mm-hmm. Talk about something deep, like a reflection or a contemplation, meditation, whatever, that you have been sort of experiencing right now that's deep, where you're coming to terms with something in your life.
Money is, especially for our generation, way more of a worry than it was for the boomers, for
Mhm.
example.
Mhm.
For our parents' generation, like, it was just, in some ways, they were born at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the cost of housing wasn't like, I don't know, 500 times the amount you could ever earn in a year.
Mm-hmm.
So that actually translates to a real world problem.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, like I have these thoughts as well. It's like, well, it's frustrating. Like, you work hard, you never seem to have any time, like, outside of the work. And what do you have to show for it is like, well, you can feed yourself from month to month, and you have this kind of small box of a room. Like, the bigger question is always, how are you spending your time?
Yeah.
Like, on this earth. And there's nothing like losing people to make you realize you don't know how long you've got.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this could be it, for all you know. And that's a bigger existential question for me. I probably could have made better decisions that weren't financially as responsible, but actually would have had more of an impact, or just would have been more harmonious with the natural order of things. So I would encourage you to do the same. If you're following something that you care about, then you're doing something right. I think instinctively you know what that is. You always instinctively know what it is. It's just there's a lot of things to distract a person, and a lot of barriers in the way of answering that question. How do you want to spend your time? That's a more relevant question, I think, on a human level.
All right, mate. Well, let's go strong into tomorrow. The final performance. No expectations. One way or the other, tomorrow you will have finished this project, which is what the only thing that all of this was about. Just no matter what, have a good time. No matter what, have a good time.
I think I will. Thanks for, I guess, being the fire up my ass, like I said. Yeah.
It's been a pleasure.
I suppose unconsciously, but indefinitely, like, closing that door off to myself, which I think was, if it wasn't where I was at, it was at risk of happening. So that's a big win.
All right, then, on that note, we'll say goodbye. Just a minute. All right, mate.
Thank you, man.
See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow.
Yep.
I'll keep you updated.
Sounds good.
Laters, man.
All right, take care, Jordan.
Take it easy.
All right.